Good morning to all my friends and family, and welcome to this episode of Jim's 5 a.m. Club. As you can see, we are presented with a magnificent view from Mount Tomaree on this Saturday morning. Just in order, we've got Zenith Beach down there, followed by Box Beach, followed by Wreck Beach, I think the last one is, and then we've got the Shoal Bay sand dune or bar, which attaches us to the other island over there. I think that island is Shark Island, but I'll have to do some more research. But something of interest that I've just noticed is that the sandbar over there at Fingal Bay is almost fully revealed at low tide. A couple of years ago we had a few big storms come through the area here, and they washed away a lot of the sand, and by the looks of it we've had another few storms which has washed the sand back in. So hopefully in 2022 we'll be able to walk across that sandbank to the island and go out to the lighthouse. So time will tell, but it's amazing how nature works. It's magic, and nothing is ever permanent, but we need to make the most of what we can when we can. As an aside, a number of years ago I was walking across that sandbar and I came across this big, magnificent seashell. So what I thought I'd do is, rather than take it home to my infant granddaughter, Annabelle, who was probably about 6 months of age, she's now 4, what I did was I took that beautiful shell and I went and hid it over there on Shark Island. And I said to myself, what I hope to do if I'm healthy enough one day is to bring her, and I'll also bring my youngest granddaughter Elizabeth as well, and we go shell hunting, and hopefully we can find that shell and have a bit of fun. So what I want to do today is go through a book summary. It's an old classic. It's a book that was written in 1903 by an author named James Allen, and the book, as I said, is an absolute classic, a must read, and it's entitled As a Man Thinketh. As a Man Thinketh. So the author, James Allen, in his wisdom and the wisdom of the time that has been able to traverse the many generations since this book was written, kicks off the book with a quote where he says, "A person is limited only by the thoughts that he chooses," or we could say they choose. A person is limited only by the thoughts that they choose. So let's go through each of the points, or the key points from this book. So the first point to come out of this text is where he says that what you do in your life is the result of what you think. Man is but a sum product of all of his thoughts that are seeds, and thoughts that are roots to actions, which leads to habits and patterns, and will ultimately determine his character, who he is, and the life that they have lived. He makes a very important point, and a point which is timeless, that pessimists fail. Pessimists will always fail because they give up too soon and too easy. There are many times where I've watched sport, where I've watched elite athletes, I've watched the Olympics, I've watched the NRL, I've watched World Cup soccer, and throughout the match, with only a few minutes to go, I say to myself, there's absolutely no way that the team can fight back and win. and I'm just expressing my own internal fears and reservations, and I guess I'm expressing the fact that I would have given up at a certain point in time if I was posed with those challenges. But time and time again, we are reminded that if you continue to stick to your goal, you continue to push, you continue to believe in the dream, then miracles do create themselves, do manifest themselves out of nothing. And the number of times that I've said to myself, shit, if I was that player, I would have given up and I would never have achieved the goal or the outcome that they were able to achieve. So the key call to action is, if you have a dream, if you have a thought, don't give up on it, because pessimists or losers give up on things too early and far too easily. So if you change your thoughts, you have a chance of changing your actions. If you persist, you're still in the game. You can still deliver on an outcome. So the message, the key deliverable from this first point in this book is don't give up and to not be pessimistic. Always think that there is a way, and a way may and will present itself. The second point to come out of this book is where the author says that you shape the world just as much as the world shapes you. Your thoughts and your actions are a cause and effect which influence and impact others around you. What we do has a ripple effect, and that ripple effect could be a positive effect or it could be a negative effect. So as the author says here, that you shape the world just as much as the world shapes you, because your actions, your thoughts shape not only your future but also other people's future, because you can be an example or a warning to others. And we also need to understand, and once again this is relayed many times over and over again in sport, that not everything is outside your control. Even though you may think that there are things which are outside of our control, James Allen in this wonderful historical texts reminds us that things do come into your control. You're able to manifest your future by just turning up and being there day in, day out, and having the necessary positive thoughts that can lead to the actions that can create wonderment and gifts to you and to others. Because at the end of the day, we know this time and time again, we've seen it time and time again, you can make your luck by just turning up. Yesterday I was doing a vlog down at Little Beach. I was just walking along, chatting away, and all of a sudden I was surprised by a couple of dolphins just a mere 3 meters away, meandering up the beach, which I was able to incorporate into my vlog and into my message. So the author also goes on to talk about another point, and it's a warning, I guess, to a certain point, where he says that we need to be careful what you think, as it may age you faster than you think. People who worry about the future, who live with anxiety, who constantly dwell on the past, all of that sort of thing leads to stress, leads to depression, and it has a direct and an indirect impact not only on your health but also on the health of those around you, your family, your friends, your work peers, your community. So the warning, the big warning from this book, from this author, is to be careful, to be selective, to be discerning about what you think, as it may aid you, it may impact your health. Because what actually happens, and science tells us this time and time again, it's scientifically proven that your thoughts impact your heart rate, your thoughts impact your sleep patterns, your thoughts impact chronic pains. So we need to be careful what we wish for or think about, and what we dwell on, because what we think, what we dwell on, what we focus on is where our energy goes. So, it's up to you. It's up to each and every one of us to direct that flow of energy into something which is productive, something that's going to help each and every one of us, our communities and others around us. Because the great analogy that this author brings forth is that your mind is just like a garden. It can be a garden full of flowers, and as you can see here, I'm surrounded by beautiful, beautiful spring summery flowers. Your life can be either a garden or it can be a weed bed. If it doesn't help you grow, it has to go. That's a very, very powerful and profound point. If we have things in our lives that don't allow us to grow, if they're not allowing us to flourish, if there are things in our garden which don't bring us joy, then they need to be uprooted and they need to go. So if it doesn't help you grow, it has to go. Because what is happening, and the analogy is a perfect one, the metaphor that is being used is brilliant. The author is saying that if you have a garden which has weeds in it, those weeds are sapping nutrients and energy from that garden bed. So we need to be gardeners. We need to tend to the garden of our mind and to make sure that we pull out those weeds, we provide the necessary fertilizer for our garden so that we allow our garden to express the beauty of God's creation so that we can make the most of it. So as a gardener, make sure that you're getting rid of the things that shouldn't be in your garden, in your mind garden, and to replace it with things that add energy, add colour, add beauty, and add value. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me on this episode of Jim's 5am Club. As I said, I'm up here on Mount Tomaree. I make a point to come up to Mount Tomaree every time I head up here to Nelson Bay. What I'll do is I'll head down to Zenith Beach shortly and do a vlog at Zenith Beach, but I can see some people down here maybe doing some community work, cleaning up the garden, cleaning up the natural greenery area down there, and I'll just go and see what they're doing as well. So thank you once again for joining me. I wish everybody a happy 2022. I'm sure that we're going to get on top of Corona, and it's going to be a year where we start expressing ourselves as normally as possible, and things will be a lot better than what they were in 2020 and 2021, because we were given the greatest gift in 2021, the gift of vaccines, which has helped many people stay out of hospital and stay alive. So take care everybody, wishing you all the best, and I look forward to coming to you again from a different place with a different message, a message of empowerment, where we can talk about things, talk about OPE, other people's experiences through book summaries, where we can learn from the past, from the current, and from other people's experiences, and help us become better versions of ourselves. Take care and bye for now.